wake up parched and famished at the bottom of a deep well, dark and dingy, with the foul smell of excreta and rotting scars, and no seeming way to escape. What do? A very good evening to everybody. I'm Sahana, is the host for today's evening. Today, along with unveiling the book, we have some very fun events lined up for you, and there are lots of prizes to be won too. So be alert, please do answer the questions and ask some questions too. Birds of Prey. So how many of you know here what is the genre of this book? It's a thriller. Exactly. Yes. Birds of Prey is a psychological crime thriller, and by the way, there are no prizes for that question. And Birds of Prey is a novel that thrills you, chills you, but at the same time it makes you think. The novel is a noble effort to use entertainment to propagate a social message. Men from happy, affluent families go missing from the suburbs of Mumbai. There are neither any ransom notes nor any clues to show what happened to them. All the disappearances have the same pattern, however, there is no common link between the men. This is when ACP Anton Pinto is asked to handle the case. All suspicions point to an old, physically challenged, mysterious lady. Who is she? What is her secret? What happened to these men? What is the undisclosed crime that is thirsty for justice? Will Anton be able to save the men? Will justice be served? You will have to read Birds of Prey to know all these answers. Birds of Prey will grip you with questions, taunt you about your societal choices, and haunt you long after you have read the last page. Now, Archana is an author and poetess for the last 10 years. She shuttles between Chennai and Mumbai and loves both cities passionately. Her works are published in various popular newspapers, magazines, and anthologies like The Times of India, The Economic Times, The SEBI and Corporate Laws Journal, The CA Newsletter, Me Magazine, The Science Reporter, The Chicken Soup for the Soul series, and the Remo India Anthology, the Glomag Literary Journal, and many more. She's popular in the online world for her flash fiction and that appear every Saturday called Saturday Shots. Though she is a chartered accountant by qualification, she took up her childhood love for writing as her vocation. She has a diploma in creative writing from the Writers Bureau UK. Birds of Prey is her first novel. Now, I would like Archana to speak a few words for us.
So, writing a novel is usually compared to giving birth to a child. And I have 2 children and I had 2 complicated cesareans. And I can tell you that was a walk in the park when compared to writing this book. And so the idea for the book actually came around 2014, and entire 2014 I think I spent in just ideating the book and getting the first draft written. But since I write by hand and since I don't have a clear-cut story in the mind, so I also discover the story along with the writing the first draft. So once the first draft was written, I realized, okay, for the first time I have a proper full-fledged story in hand, and then started the editing and the structuring and plotting the book and everything, after which the second draft was written, and then came typing it into the computer, because since I write by hand, so typing into the computer, and that became a stage of editing too. Finally, after all these levels, I thought, okay, so I have something which is the best novel probably on earth, and I thought I will be, publishers are going to pounce on me as the next biggest literary find. But of course that didn't happen. Rejection started pouring in, and it was pretty, upsetting initially. But I really started reconsidering whether this is what I wanted to do, and whether the book really has the potential to go through, and should I continue doing it. And at this point, these questions made me think back to my college years, and I realized that usually what happens in college, I come from a women's college in Chennai, And what do generally college girls talk about? So we talk about dresses, makeup, and okay, so what else? Okay, boyfriends. In my college, for a change, there was this sexual awareness camp, and the main topic over there, which I realized most girls were most enthusiastic about sharing, were the child abuse which they faced during their childhood years. How long are we going to keep telling ourselves that such a thing doesn't exist in our society? How long are we going to keep pushing it under the, brushing it down under the carpet and hiding the true facts of what's happening? Somehow I felt these are the questions which my novel is answering, and so I really did want to get out the book to the world. I started reworking on the novel, rewriting it, making it stronger, making it a very plot-driven book, and making sure that all the research that went into the book were from real incidents, true stories, and I think probably that is what has added value to the book. And maybe that's the reason why immediately the very next publisher whom I pitched to was Readomania, and they accepted the manuscript. Again, but that wasn't the end of the story. Again it went through, rewriting, restructuring, re-editing and everything before finally I got the book in my hand. So it's been a journey of 3 years, and 3 years of quite a lot of hard work Birds of Prey has taken from me. But still, at this moment when I stand before you, I can just do it all again, just for this one single moment. Thank you so much for being here.
She was telling that she had 2 children with cesarean operation. But even in cesarean operation, the time flow of the delivery is only 36 weeks. But as far as novel is concerned, you can never say it is 36 weeks. He has taken 3 years to bring it to the shape. It is a process of lot of hard work, imagination, involvement, and also support from the family, because it involves a lot of rewriting, rethinking. She has gone through all this process. I think at the end of the day, she should be very happy to see the book in her hand with so many friends are. So I congratulate her. And incidentally, I am a family friend of this Silvas. We have stayed in Chennai together for a long time. Their family is known for their cultural interest and voracious reading. And the reading habit has come from the father to all the children. And very happy, they got a daughter-in-law with the same kind. That's the writing habit also. And so it's a compliment, a moment to congratulate your family also. And all the family members are here. I'm extremely happy. This novel is about the city life. And urban life, we all come from the villages with a hope that our life will be to our standard of living. That is apparently true. But the urban life also poses a lot of challenges. And it is the women and the children who suffer more in urban areas. Here, the child abuse always happens with reference to female children. It doesn't happen to the male children. The male children get harassed in terms of the child labor, low wages and other things. But the harassment on the body and harassment on the mind is more with reference to the female children.
Interesting, you might end up giving away a part of the story. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and this is a chase scene where my protagonist Anton Pinto is behind a serial killer. All he saw ahead was couple's fast disappearing form. He turned around once to see if his colleagues had caught up. There was nothing behind him except the vanishing train. What else could he expect of those bumbling idiots with their huge paunches? He was not going to let couple escape now, after all these efforts. His hands instinctively checked his holster. His gun was in place. He might need backup. If not human, then mission. He didn't want to end up like those 11 young girls. The images of their mutilated bodies crept into his mind. Who said the police are fearless? He thought to himself. A lone structure loomed before him. It seemed to be a shed covered on 3 sides with brick walls and an asbestos sheet on top. Anton saw a couple run into it. He is trapped, Anton thought, and rushed to the shed and peeped inside. Unused equipment and tools were scattered around the huge old rusty machine. Couple was nowhere to be seen. Instinctively, Anton's right hand brought out his gun from the holster. He poised it steady with his left hand. Couple, come out, the game's over. Anton's voice echoed inside the shed. He listened intently. There was absolute silence. He looked back hoping to see someone. At least Rajesh should have reached by now. They must have lost him. Anton's heart skipped a beat. With or without them, he had to go on. Couple had to be caught. He decided to shoot the fellow and be done with it.